I chose Guelph initially for the campus and the feel, and stayed for the classical studies program, and it offered a comprehensive overview of ancient history and offered courses in Latin and Greek. Some pros for the program are it's a very tight-knit community and it's not a very large program, so the friendships you do make there really do carry on throughout the remaining years that you have at the university. I guess the only challenge that I had was the language requirements. I didn't expect to struggle as much as I did with some of the Latin courses. So if you do struggle with learning a new language, this might be a bit of a challenge, but nothing that professors and students can help you get through. I guess the culture, like other programs, have some competitive aspects with original ideas for term papers and topics, although majority of individuals that are in the program want to do everything possible to see you succeed. If you do seek advice for an assignment or help with one of the language requirements, you're almost never alone throughout the process. That includes professors as well. There's a lot of close relationships formed, and it's great for professional opinions that you might need later on, especially through grad school. I would say that this program does have the tendency to be fast-paced, and especially in the introductory years of the program, the content is more of a comprehensive overview with intricate details, whereas the last few years of the course become more specific and specialized. So they do slow down, but not as much. And the courses typically are graded between papers and exams, with some small assignments. The classical studies exams tend to be very paper heavy, more short answer, literature analysis. It's a very writing heavy exam. With this type of program, there definitely needs to be some accountability. Time management and discipline, I think, are some of the skills you take away from it, and accountability for the effort and research you put into the paper, time management to ensure that no assignment is left on the back burner while you navigate the 4 other assignments due at the same time, and discipline when it comes to learning the facts and details. So no one is holding your hand and making sure that you follow along with those readings or that you understand the content unless you reach out and get that help, or you really put in the effort to learn that type of content. I personally study by making small, concise notes on a million different pieces of paper and then taping them all together, lying them down, and just staring at it all at once. I found that if I read something on page 4 and then I all of a sudden hit page 45, I automatically forget what I read on page 4, but if I could stare at it all at once, that really helped for me, just because there is so much content. It depends, like it's a matter of finding what works for you and sticking to that. I don't really think there's any right or wrong here. This program covers materials from philosophy to architecture, literature, or general history. The main consensus here is that it's a look at the classical influence and antiquity as a whole. For example, Introduction to Classics covers a wide scope from the history of Greece and Rome, as well as corresponding mythology. While courses such as Epic Heroes and Poems, which I believe you take in your 3rd year, it's geared towards ancient Greek and Rome epic and poems. So the themes are not so broad and the details are geared toward this one specific area of the discipline. This content involves a lot of reading, rereading, writing, and rewriting. So if you don't like reading and writing, it might be very difficult to enjoy the program. And it also goes without saying, but if you don't like history, English, philosophy, as someone who enjoyed all those classes, I loved the program, so it might be a little hard for you to enjoy the program as well. In terms of the application, I suggest that you reference your passion and willingness to learn. I think that that's super important. That's something that they're looking for, is someone not necessarily that knows everything, but someone that is open to learning and someone that can truly take what they already know and open themselves up to the challenge of learning something else, or open themselves up to new content that they weren't exactly exposed to in high school. In terms of scholarships, I suggest to apply to as many as possible. You never know if you meet the requirements for a specific scholarship, or you might have gotten one that you applied to if no one else applied, but you never know if you don't try. So I said there's no harm there. If your high school offers it, take as many ancient history, archaeology, and philosophy courses as possible. I found when I started reviewing some university content, I would be reminded of moments I picked up those facts or those initial, that initial framework in high school. I suggest, although, really taking the time before registering for the courses, just kind of gear it to what you are more passionate about. Is it the archaeology? Is it the mythology? Is it the literature? But I think there's a lot of room there to pick a focus. So you could pursue something in academia or actively engage in archaeology. So the possibilities are really how you gear your coursework in university. Is it an emphasis on architecture? Then maybe you want to work for an engineering firm as an archaeologist, or do you wish to pursue something like a bit more up my alley? And I geared a lot of my studies towards museum studies and library and information studies to eventually work in an archive or become a coordinator or curator for a museum. This program, although doesn't have a co-op or any immediate job experience, and with that I suggest heavy networking with professors definitely helps, and they're super supportive and always there to help you, and those relationships that you form in your undergraduate degree really set you up for what you could do. I personally lived on campus in Mills residence, and I don't regret it one bit. There were obvious challenges in living in such close encounters. I was actually in a triple on the third floor in Mills, so you were very close, and I feel like a lot of times you did get into each other's space, so there were the obvious roommate disagreements, although I did meet the 3 other girls that I roomed with for the remainder of my undergrad, so for the next 3 years. One piece of advice that would be specifically to look at Chancellor's Way or Edinburgh Village when it comes to off-campus living, and the reason for that is that there are multiple apartment buildings along this strip available to students, and right across the street would be the mall, and right across the street on the other side would be a Metro, Walmart, so it's super convenient, and everything is in walking distance. The university is also in walking distance. It's about, I think, a 10 to 15 minute walk, and these apartments do go very fast, and they open for viewing, I believe, in November before you would sign, so I suggest getting an early look at them. There are also popular spots to go to on campus, and one of them that I love to recommend is the bull ring. So the building actually acted as a bull ring to parade cattle for quite some time before it was transformed into our now university cafe or pub on campus. The food is amazing. If I had to, I would recommend the mac and cheese, the antojitos, and the spinach dip, but it's all really good. I think one of the easiest ways to make friends is to not think about it. So if someone approaches you in your group and tries to strike up a conversation, it can lead to something unexpected. For example, one of my best friends who I met in first year sat beside me in a lecture hall, and I will never forget this. I was just gonna enjoy the 7 p.m. night lecture, 7 to 10 p.m. It was super empty. There was a lot of empty seats. And she comes in 30 minutes late, comes and sits right beside me with her grand Starbucks meal and just starts striking up conversation in the middle of the lecture to me. And me being nervous in first year, I wanted to focus, but honestly, she brought me out of my shell. And we still remain really close friends, even though she did leave Guelph a couple years later to pursue another degree at another institution, and that never would have happened if I wasn't open to that friendship. So Guelph, while predominantly consisting of Caucasian individuals, I do have several peers who are POC and spoke to me about their experience going to school and stuff in this type of community. And my friend attested that becoming friends with other POC people was vital to creating a positive experience at the university as to not feel so completely isolated. They did also speak to the fact that belonging was never an issue at Guelph, so I really liked that. There are, of course, support and mental health resources readily available for students, and there are couples and family therapy centers, for instance, on campus, and that is generally open to a variety of different students as well. Having also friends from the LGBTQ community, I knew that they had expressed feelings of feeling at home at the university, and there was no real issue there with marginalized groups, and they did speak to the support and coming from friendships and professors, but a lot of those other resources that were on campus as well. I know that through my involvement at the Alumni Call Center on campus, for instance, a lot of alumni support mental health initiatives on campus, whether that be from puppy days in the library to breakfast delivered by professors and to students during exam period. The university prides itself on being there for its students. So if I had to go back in time and I was a first year student again, I think the best part of this answer is I wouldn't change anything. Not the unexpected friendships, not the late night study sessions or the 1 a.m. snowball fights with our residents or homecoming. I think the obvious answer would be to prioritize my time better, but some of the best memories I do have come from those late night, last minute study sessions, delirious sessions with your friends trying to scramble to finish this work together. Do I recommend stressing yourself out? Absolutely not. But in the similar way, do not preoccupy yourself with 100% or primarily academics, and remember that these 4 years go by really quickly, so just really take the time to enjoy your time here and don't stress out about the little things because it's just not worth it. I suggest do go out with friends, don't shy away from your group study sessions, and definitely don't turn away from a new challenge or experience because you never know where that may lead. So I do wish anyone who is considering the classics program at the University of Guelph the best of luck, and I know that you'll enjoy your time here as much as I did. And have a great summer and good luck.